Good morning, sixth graders. Welcome to our technology class. This is week 33. So we're going to jump into typing this week. I don't want to forget about typing. There won't be as many typing assignments this quarter, probably just a few, but I do want to keep you guys typing because it's an important skill. So this week, I think it's a fun one. It's called Jokes and Laughs. So maybe you will be laughing while you're doing your typing. So please do that this week. And then we are going to continue with our coding lesson. So I noticed that only 3 students completed the coding activity from last week, activity number 1, which I'll remind you what it was. It was the victory celebration. So thank you to the 3 students that did complete it. If you did not, please do it. Again, falling behind with the code can be very overwhelming to try to catch up because it's time consuming. So if you keep up every week, just spend like 30 minutes a week, just set aside time, kind of have your designated day and time and do your coding. And then that way it'll feel really good. You'll be like, oh, I'm glad I did this, instead of feeling like, oh dear, am trying to catch up, right? And so you don't want to put yourself in that type of a position. It's very stressful. All right, so this week we're moving on to sports commentary. So we're going to be creating another small coding project, a little bit different this time. So I will put on the video and we'll go through and I'll show you how to do it, and then you'll work on it yourself in your account.
Hey team, welcome to Activity 2 of Google's CS First Sports. Get ready to channel your inner sports anchor voice while programming athletes to do some cool moves. In this activity, you will build a competition project while you learn about the computer science concept events. An event in computer science is something that makes an action happen. Events in Scratch start with the word when, and they're placed at the top of the block stacks to make the code start running. Events in computer science are a lot like events in your life. For example, when the bell rings at the end of the school day, you leave school or you go to an after-school club. The bell ringing is an event. Your reaction is to leave school or go to an after-school club. You can also find events in sports. For example, when a basketball player steps out of bounds, the ball is turned over to the opposite team.
Tightly on the perimeter. Here's the Prophet. 7 points in the game, and out of bounds as Los Angeles gains possession.
In the games shown, computer scientists like you use events to model those occurrences in a game. You've used events before. The when flag clicked block used in Activity 1 causes something to happen when the flag gets clicked. In this activity, you will use events to make athletes perform while a commentator talks about the performance. From here on out, every activity you do will offer a couple starter projects with different sports themes to choose from. Pick the sport you like most. The example may not always show the sport you chose, so if the video says to click on the tennis ball sprite, but you chose a volleyball starter project, just click on the volleyball sprite instead. For this activity, choose a starter project from these 4 options: cheerleading, dance, karate, or basketball. Each project includes athletes in different poses. Click on the starter project link next to the video for the sport you choose. It will open another tab. Most starter projects contain more sprites than you need to do the activity, so you get to choose the ones you like.
This project contains several commentator sprites. Pick one commentator sprite that you want to program and delete the other sprite.
After you open the starter project and choose your sprites, come back to this CS First tab and then click on the next arrow to move on to the next video. Here's the game plan. First, click on the starter project link. Return to this tab and press the next arrow to move on to the next video to program your athletes' routines.
Okay, so let me show you guys your choices. So there's the dance starter project. I'll show you what each of them looks like. And you can choose one. So here's this one. There's the basketball starter project. There's that one. Cheerleading starter project. And then there's the karate starter project. So there we go. So you can choose whichever one you would like to choose. I think I'm going to maybe I'm going to choose the dance one. You can choose any of them. And then what I would like you to do is, of course, save it. So put your name. This is lesson number 2. I'm drawing a blank. Sports commentary, it's called. Sports commentary. And then I can save it. So now it's saved. You do want to always put your name, the lesson number, and the name of the lesson, and make sure you save it, because when I go ahead and check in your projects, sometimes you might have clicked and opened a bunch of them, and I won't know which one to actually look at and grade. But I will grade the one that says your name and the lesson number and the name of the lesson. So please be organized and make sure you do save and do that, okay? Then we'll hit the next button, and now we're going to see the next step of what we're going to do.
In this video, you will make the athletes in your project look like they're performing. The example project will build off of the cheerleading starter project, but you'll build your project using the sport you chose. Click on the sprite you will animate, then click on the Costumes tab. You'll see pictures of the sprite in a few different poses. If you click through these costumes quickly, the sprite looks like it's moving. Computers are useful because you can program them to do tasks for you. To program the sprite to change costumes, go to the Looks menu and drag out the next costume block. Click on it. The sprite changes costumes. Keep clicking on it to make the sprite look like it's animated. Pretty cool. Scratch also offers a block that will continue to change the costumes without you clicking on it over and over. The repeat block makes actions repeat a number of times. From the control menu, drag out a repeat block and place it around the next costume block. Click on the code to test it. Interesting, the costume changes many times, but it changes very quickly. To slow down the costume changes, select a wait block from the control menu and place it inside the repeat block. Tinker with the values in the repeat loop and wait block until the animation looks good to you. Next, add an event that will make the athlete perform. In computer science, events cause an action in a program. In this case, a user pressing a key is the event that makes the athlete perform. Click on the Events menu. Place a When Key Pressed event block on top of the stack that makes the athlete perform. From the drop-down menu, select a key to use as an event. This example uses the 1 key. To test this code, press the key on your keyboard. The athlete starts performing. Great. Next, code the rest of the athletes in your project to perform. The code for the other sprites will be very similar to the code you just created. Copying code from one sprite to another is easier and faster than creating new code for each sprite. To copy the code, drag it over to the sprite in the Sprites menu. Then, change the key press event. For this example, the second athlete performs when the 2 key is pressed, and the third when the 3 key is pressed. Tinker with the number of repeats and the wait times for each sprite until you like their performances. Here's the game plan. First, make the sprite keep changing costumes using the repeat loop and change costume block. Slow down the costume changes using the wait block. Make the code run when the user presses a key using the When Key Pressed block. Copy the code to the other sprites and change the key press events for each athlete. Finally, tinker with the values in the repeat loops and the wait blocks until you like what you have.
Okay, so let's go in.
In this video,
And
you will make that.
Give it a try. So for mine, I'm going to make sure I have my first sprite. I'm going to go in, I'll add my event when key is pressed. I'll go in, I'll get my change costume block. next costume. I'll get out of my control flow, repeating 10 times. And then remember, I want to get my weight block and I want to have it weight. And then I can test it out. So I can use whatever I want. If I want to do A, B, space, you can really, I'm just gonna, maybe I'll do A. So when I press A, see, there goes my sprite. Now remember, to copy the code, you drag it and you put it into the next one. Oops, it didn't work. So now it's in that one, but the only thing I have to do is maybe make this B, and then hang on, the project is being weird. Okay. Not logged in. Hang on a minute. Oh, my internet. Hang on. Sorry, it totally kicked me out. All right, I have to start again. Kicked me out. I don't know what had happened. So anyways, fun times. I'm just going to restart again. So a really important thing, make sure that you always try and save your project and make sure you're signed in. For some reason, the internet just like literally kicked me out of the account. Okay, so let me do it again. So now you guys can see. So you get an event, get the when key is pressed block. From the control, get a repeat 10 times. In looks, get next costume. In control, get a weight block. And then you can fool around and play around with how long you want it to wait. You can also choose whatever key you want, but then it should work when I press. It'll make my character move. Okay, so then I can also drag this and copy it into the next sprite. And then I can just change the key and make it a B for that one. And then I can copy it to the next sprite and change it and make it a C. And then I can copy it to the next sprite. Oh, wait, no, actually, you know what? We'll just do it for these three. We don't want to, because we're going to probably do something different for the commentators. So we have now these three. So now if I run the program and I press A, B, and then C, they all start moving. So that is fun and that is perfect. So now let's go ahead and go to the next part. So we've already done that. And now we're going to add some talk to the commentators. So here we go.
In this video, you will program commentary about each of the athletes in your project. Sports commentators talk about what the athletes are doing to help viewers better understand what's going on. Click on the commentator sprite. First, make the commentator introduce a sport. From the Looks menu, drag a Say block into the commentator's script and click on it. The sprite says hello in a speech bubble for 2 seconds. To change how long you see the speech bubble, change this number. To change what the sprite says, change what's in the blank. Tinker with the values to make the project your own. A commentator might introduce a sporting event in different ways. He or she might give background information about the sport or the venue, say something about past games or athlete performances, or simply say something welcoming. In this example, the commentator says, "Hi, I'm Joe. Welcome to the world's greatest sporting event." Add more commentary by placing say blocks one after another and snapping them together. This example follows the introduction with, "I remember back in the day when I used to be part of the team." At the end, add a line telling people how to see the athletes perform. This example says, "Press 1, 2, or 3 to see the athlete perform." Finally, add an event to start the commentary. In Scratch, the flag starts most programs. To start the commentary when the flag is clicked, go to the Events menu and place a When Flag Click block above the commentary. Here's the game plan. Use multiple say blocks to introduce the competition, then add a when flag clicked event above the say blocks to start the commentary. The next video will make the...
So really, you have to just be creative here. So for example, if I were going to do this, I would say this. Let me start mine. So I'm going to get the when flag clicked. I'm going to get my say blocks, and I'm just going to say, welcome to the dance off event. And then I'll have him say, in a few moments, our dancers will begin their showing us what they've got. And then he'll say, are you ready? Are you ready? And then press A, B, or C to see the dancers in action. And then when I press it, let me make it, I'll show you guys. So there he goes. Welcome to the dance-off event. In a few moments, our dancers will begin dancing. Are you ready? Press A, B, or C to see the dancers in action. And then here we go. A. There's our first dancer. Woohoo! Dancing, dancing. Second dancer starts going. I'm pressing B. C, third dancer. And so it's all starting to come together and really look like a dance-off, right? I'm just going to do file save now. Hopefully the internet cooperates. Okay, now let's see the next part.
Sports commentators don't stop talking when the athletes start performing. In this video, you will make the commentator talk while the athlete performs. First, write the commentary for the first athlete. Use say blocks. This example says, whoa, Reed starts it off with some crazy moves. Next, the commentator should start talking at the same time as the athlete does his or her moves. So add the same event block to make the commentator start talking. From the events menu, place a when key press block above the commentator for the first athlete. In the example, the first athlete starts with the 1 key, so click the drop-down to select the 1 key or whichever you chose. Now, the commentator and athlete both do something when the key is pressed. Press the key. The commentator talks and the athlete performs at the same time. Pretty cool. Do this for each of the other athletes. Add a new say block to the commentator's script, write the commentary for the athlete, then add the matching event to start the commentary and the performance. Each time you add new code, test it to make sure it works. Computer scientists might make mistakes as they create code, so they frequently test small pieces of their code to find mistakes and fix them along the way. Mistakes are just a way for computer scientists like you to learn. Here's the game plan. Add commentary for each athlete. Start the commentary with the same event that makes the athlete perform. When you're finished with these steps, return to this page and click the next arrow to learn about the add-ons you can build for your project.
Okay, so let's go ahead and add in the code for the commentators. So I have to make sure I click on one of the commentators, and now instead of my next event is going to be when. So when A is pressed, then he's going to talk about this girl. So we could have get a say block, and then we could just make a name up for her. Anna starts the dance off competition strong. Look at those dance moves, right? And so then I might put a little wait block in there just for a quick second. Okay, so now it should all flow together because I'm pressing this. He's going to say his little intro thing. And then as soon as he's done, I'm going to press A. And then in a second, he's going to say, Anna starts to dance off. And then so you see how it's all coming together? And then I could have another comment. Maybe this other lady says something, so we can use when clicked for B. And then she could say something about the next girl. She could say like, wow, look at Lisa. Look at Lisa's dance moves. I'm just making up something. And so then she might say, Anna has some serious competition. So I'm making this up, okay? And so you'll have to make it up for your own little story here. But so now here they go. He's saying his whole thing. Then when I press A, he says his thing, and that girl's dancing. Then I press B, and the other lady says her little commentary. And then obviously I would go in and I would do, maybe he would say something for the third one. So I'd go to events, and then I'd have when C is pressed. And so then that's for the guy. He could say, looks like Jared is stealing the show. And I'm just like making this up. So now if we go ahead and put the whole thing together, it's really starting to look like an actual dance off, right? Because they're getting started, and then we go through each of them, and each of the people says something, and then it's starting to really come together. So you see how like each part of the code adds in something to make this all start flowing together, right? Okay, so I feel like we really are lacking in music and a lot of different things. So let's take a look at some of the add-ons that you can do.
Great job completing your core project. If you haven't done that yet, go back and complete all the steps in the previous videos. Now it's time to add some cool stuff to your project. This page contains a bunch of videos you can watch to see new, fun ways to customize your project. The rest of this video will introduce all the videos below. Here are your add-ons for this activity. In music, add music that will play while your athletes showcase their moves. With movement, program your athletes to get active by moving around the stage. In changing colors, make your sprites change colors similar to how athletes wear different jerseys. In the Zone programs the sports commentator to give the athletes a performance boost. Enjoy creating and coding with these add-on videos, and try to do something to challenge yourself. Have fun!
Okay, so I want to start with the music because I feel like it's so boring. We need to add some music. You guys can choose the add-ons that you want to do, but I'm going to start with this one.
You'll program music that will play while your athletes showcase their favorite moves. To get started, click on the Sports Commentator sprite. Next, click on the Sounds tab. Then on Choose New Sound. You'll find many different sounds here that you can use in your program. There are different categories for sounds. Click on the Music Loops category to see different music loops, or short sections of music tracks. When you find a song you like, click it. You can now add the new sound you chose to your project. To do that, click the Scripts tab, click the Sound menu, and drag the Play Sound Until Done block into the script editor. Make sure the sound you chose is selected in the dropdown. The Play Sound block plays a sound without pausing the rest of the code. This block is mostly used for quick sound effects. The Play Sound Until Done block, on the other hand, doesn't run the code below it until the sound finishes playing. For this example, use a Play Sound Until Done block to prevent your background music from being cut short. Since the music should play continuously during your performance, select a Forever loop from the control menu and place it around the Play Sound Until Done block. To make this code start at the beginning of your athlete's performance, add a When Flag Clicked event to the top of this code stack. Click the flag to test your code. Background music plays as your athletes perform. Cool. Alright, here's the game plan. Add a sound from the music library. Add a Play Sound Until Done block inside a Forever loop. Don't forget to add the When Flag Clicked event.
Okay, so hopefully you guys understand that, but so we're going to go in. I'm already in the commentator. I'm going to have another when flag is clicked block. I'm going to use a forever loop, and then I'm going to go to sound, play sound until done, except the only thing is I need to actually, oops, I need to actually go to the sound library and choose a sound. So you can go and really just test them out. Test out things that you want. I mean, you could be here all day testing different things. I think I'll go with this one. So you could be there all day trying to do it. So now when I press my flag, it's going to start the music. And then it's going to really feel like a dance off. So there goes the first one, dancing. There goes the second one, showing us her moves. And there's our third one. And it really is starting to come together and looking like an animated dance off, right? So that's super fun. Some other add-ons, showcase your moves, changing colors in the zone. So you could try these ones. I would say for you guys, since it is a lot of code, I don't want to overwhelm you with too much code. You do have to do all of the basic code. So that means you need to program each of your sprites, your commentators, and then you can choose one add-on. So I chose music. If you want to choose any of these, you can choose them. In your account, you can watch the video for these. I don't want to put all the videos into this video because it's going to make it way too long. So I'm just trying to be conscious about the time here. But you could try, and I would rather have you choose one that you're interested in adding on than me telling you what to add on. I just want you to be creative and use your imagination. And obviously everybody's thing is going to be different because I chose the dance off one and you might choose the basketball one, or you might choose the karate one. Like whatever you choose, your story is going to be different than mine. So have fun. This is a lot of fun to do this. And you can get in more in depth with the code too if you want to make each of them have a different music or whatever. Be creative. Now that you understand the basic code, you could take it a step further. Okay. All right, guys. So we're going to just stop here. Make sure that you do periodically do save now. Make sure you name it with your name, lesson 2, sports commentary. So I know it's the one for this week. And then just have fun with it. Okay. And remember, don't fall behind. Keep up every week so it's not overwhelming for you to do all the code. All right. Okay, so we'll be looking forward to seeing your projects and we'll see them next week. All right, bye guys.